feel that like virtual interaction is becoming, I don't say more popular, but in a way it is because of social networking such as Facebook and MySpace. I mean, you can send people messages, you can even chat with them right on there. Also too, when you're on, you're on the internet, you can pose as anybody. Like I could be a 40, 50-year-old guy and nobody would ever know. And, it seems like people can be more outgoing, if they're talking on the computer. Face-to-face interaction, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is, at work. I work at a grocery store and, I'm face-to-face with people all the time. When I'm talking to them, they know, I'm between 18 and, 23, and, I can't really hide my emotions. If they say something to upset me or, they can make me laugh, it's always instant. They can see me right then and there. Computer interaction is more easier to deal with because, like I said, on social networks, you can just cut somebody off, you can block them. If you're done talking, you just X out. Like, they'll never know, like, how you feel, if you smiled, if you laughed, or did anything like that. I feel that professors nowadays do need to adapt to their students. I feel that, I don't want to say they're still doing the old-fashioned method, but I really, as a student, I enjoy having the freedom of doing what I want, because I find making a video or, things like that, I feel that that's more geared towards me. Like I get more out of it because I do my own research. I'm not saying I wouldn't do research if they told me to do a paper, but I'm just saying, like, it's easier for me to create and it allows me to be more creative than it does writing a paper, because I feel like I'm just regurgitating and trying to just not reword everything they say, but kind of formulating my own opinion about it. But I like the creative aspect of professors allowing me to do what I want to do, and I feel like I'm pretty good at it, so. The idea of convergence is, combining, all these media aspects into one. One thing I would say, back when media first started, it was all just newspapers. And, it would be, newspapers are more in-depth because they have more space to work with. You could write about, anything. You could go in-depth. You can talk about, like, everything that happened at, a scene of a crime or, a sporting event or anything like that. And then TV kind of came along, and it's more just the highlights of these, these stories and everything like that. And there's a visual to go along with it. The internet is allowing, like, all these aspects to come together. If you go to a website, like, for example, you can go to CNN, it'll have, like, you can click on the article, and then you can read the article, and then you can watch the video to go along with it. So it's kind of like you can do what you want with it, and you're kind of getting the best of both worlds, in my opinion, and it's more immediate. In my opinion, the definition of new media, there's different aspects of it. One would be the numerical part, which is your ones and zeros, and basically that's all the computer, this computer language. It's just ones and zeros, and that's how the computer talks, and we don't see it. We see characters and letters and everything like that. And the other part, there's modularity. Is basically breaking down. If you look at it, you go to a website, it'll have, you can go to an article, you can go, you can watch a video, you can check sports, you can check, you can check your stocks, you can do anything on this website, and it's all broken down on one screen. An example of automation would be, like, if you were to go to Google and you type in, the title of a song, and you only type, like, the first two words, like, the computer thinks for you. It's like, hey, what about these? And you can go there, and it's just making it easier and making it quicker for the user. Automation, it's like Photoshop. It's manipulable. You can Photoshop your own pictures. You can create your own videos using your own images. You can make your own kind of media. It allows you to be creative. Another aspect is variability. An example of that would be hypermedia, which would be if you go to a website and say you go to one website and you click on an article and it takes you to another, then you click on another thing on that website, it takes you to YouTube to watch a video on it, and then YouTube takes you somewhere else, and it's just the process of going. It's kind of like a trail. It's like you can go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and you're all still getting your information, but it's more quicker, and you don't really have to search around for it. It's just right there in front of you. The fifth aspect is transcoding. The first thing I think of when I think of transcoding is like if I made a movie on Windows Movie Maker, and like I have to transcode it to iMovie or QuickTime or anything like that. It's the same thing, but it's just being able to play it in different kind of media players. Like there's not one universal media player, so to say. Some examples of new media tools would be like an iPod, for example. When the iPod was first made, it was only made to play music, and I feel that like along with a cell phone, it's kind of like one of those tools that you need. You're not need, but you got to have on you like on a daily basis. And I think Apple did a pretty good job of making this tool like adaptable to you, to where it allows you to perform like all these simple tasks like everyday tasks. It's not just a phone anymore. And then the last example of a new media tool would be a podcast. In my opinion, podcasts are like talk radio, just on the internet. But the problem with that is you have, anybody can talk about anything. Like, for example, you can have somebody talk about Notre Dame football and Notre Dame basketball, and I can listen to it and I can take what I need from it. But the only problem is the person that's talking very credible. It could be a normal guy talking, or you could actually have an announcer or a coach, or like anything like that. So it's kind of like you got to be pick and choosing with that, but I think it's a very useful tool, and it allows for people to have a voice.
Digital, get down. Get down. Just what we need.